All right. Hi there. Tell me your names and what you guys do for a living.
I'm Cash. For a living, I'm a CAD operator, which is computer-aided design, modeling, 3D modeling, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what it is.
Sounds really awesome.
And that
Nice.
it is. It really is.
Really
You
awesome.
should try it sometime.
Try it, man. Not be reality. I
Better
work-
than what you do, no stripping.
Well, yeah, I'm at Chippendale sometimes, but only on the weekends and only on the Jewish holidays. I work for a company that does fills in for chefs and stuff like that. I'm a driver and also a cook. Do different types of stuff like that. Also work a co-host of a radio show, Chop Shop Radio.
Yes, sir. I go by BXMGs. You know what I'm saying? 1/5 the Universal Zoo Disciples. You know, I do maintenance work during the week, and at night we go hard on the music. Yes, sir.
So in a whole, what's your name? You said at night you go hard on music. So what do you guys known as? When you stepped out, you know, you're
Into the
civilian.
light. Go by Universal Zoo Disciples, UZD.
UZD.
You know what I mean? From the Brooklyn Zoo family, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's clarify that because we've been mistaken as
Zulu.
some people like last name.
Zulu
doing the show.
Nation and all this.
Yeah, the
and
zoo
that.
has nothing to do with Zulu. The zoo, we are an official branch of the Brooklyn Zoo family, which is the first branch of the Mighty Wu-Tang Clan family. So that was a chapter that was started by Old Dirty Bastard as the first family, because there's many different chambers to Wu-Tang, and that's why we started out as Universal Disciples originally, and then we hooked up with people from Brooklyn Zoo, and we were honored
Buddha
to
Monk.
Buddha Monk from Zoo Bullies, and then also 12 O'Clock and Murdoch from Brooklyn Zoo, and they blessed us with the ability to add the zoo onto our name, and we're honored to carry that as part of our coat of arms.
That's dope. It's good history there. So tell me about yourselves. Like, where you guys from? Where you grew up?
I was born in Detroit, Michigan. I grew up in Brooklyn. I've been living out in Rhode Island for most of my adult life, well, all my adult life.
So that makes you a Rhode Islander, right?
Yeah, kind of. I would
Okay.
say so. Yeah,
Okay.
I know Rhode Island more than anywhere else. I mean,
Okay.
so yeah, I would say so. But I'm not as ugly as most of the Rhode Islanders. But
Okay.
all right, I'll take that back. Sorry.
Okay. I'm pretty handsome.
That's what your mom said.
Oh, every mom says, everyone says. You know what I mean? I'm originally from Providence, but I lived a couple different places. I've lived in 6 different states, 2 countries. I lived in Canada, United States, lived around Philadelphia, Virginia. But I always got to come back to Rhode Island because that's where my roots are, my biological family.
That's sign language for roots.
Roots? No, roots. I think sign language for roots. I don't know. Shit.
Well, just like my name, BX, I'm from the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? Been out in Rhode Island ever since my big boy's been a baby, so he's 13 now. He's a huge boy, so been out here 13 years, you know?
You got big feet, too.
Oh yeah, he's a huge monster, man.
Can't be saying that, bro.
All right, in reference to your music, why do you guys do what you do?
I mean, first and foremost, it has to be fun. You know what I mean? It has to be like something you love to do. You know what I mean? It has to be something, a passion of yours to go out there and do music. You know what I'm saying? So, but you just want to leave a mark, and at the very least, the local scene. You know what I mean? In Rhode Island. But we do it for the history, and you know what I mean, just to leave that mark.
Yeah, ever since I can remember, it's been like a competitive sport. So, just being out there in the streets and just people coming with their best work, and you gotta just go do you. And then when that day comes or that time comes where everybody's all doing what they do in the cypher, and you pop up out of nowhere and show your skills, and they're looking at you like, oh, okay, So, and a lot to do with the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that you hear on the radio, you're like, damn, they're gonna play that, but I can make something better. So it's always been a competitive thing to me, and just making a name for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Just getting it out there globally, from the local spots. We all from different parts, different states, and we came together as a collective unit, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely major.
I think it's interesting to note for history purposes that the team that is UZD is not a group of friends that all grew up together and decided to let's rap. Like a lot of groups, like the original group that I was in was, it's actually a collection of people that I, as the founder and leader, had met through living in many different states and many different countries and living many different lives and wearing a lot of different hats. So as I got older, right, and the group that I was in fizzled out, what I did was I reached out globally and around the country and around the city and around the state to different people that I knew that had talent, that maybe they was in a rap group that like didn't really do a lot, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they made an album or two, but they never really pushed it, and they never really, and it was all these like talented, like this guy, he was in retirement. He was part of a group called Bond, and you know they were a tight knit group of friends that grew up together. But you know that doesn't always work. Just like my group of friends, GBT, didn't work out either because like we were just all friends that grew up in the same neighborhood, and that's tough to be. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of groups are. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying? Like Dipset, Mobb Deep, and they're all people that just like grew up together. But I've known all these people for many years, but they didn't necessarily know each other. So I and one of the founders that's not here, Lex Super, we collaborated and we like kind of recruited because like I knew him. But Mike Boston didn't know him that well, and they didn't know each other, and you know what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah, build connection.
kind of brought it in together, and then actually, it wasn't just me solely, but you know, I was like the driving factor as far as the collective experience. And the reason behind it wasn't to be a rap group, it was to bring the fire back into some talented people I thought that were not necessarily doing anything. Because this dude right here is an excellent MC. He's a good dude and he's very powerful, but he was kind of like in retirement. So you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, we're gonna do this music thing, and he's heard that a million times. So he's like, ah. And then we unified together and came together under one umbrella, and it's taken off, but not in the traditional sense, like taking off like we're making a whole bunch of money and we got 70,000 this and that. No, we don't, but we mentor more people than most people realize. We mentor MCs all around the world, literally, like globally. We have a global family of people that we mentor, like.
The Universal Collective is what it's called.
Yeah.
You know, you got what,
Eight
different
we
countries?
have 8 different countries because
Wow.
the UZD is our team. This is us.
Plus 2 that's not here, Mike.
Plus 2 that's not here, plus a few other members, Deuce, Danger the Hood, Pop Sounds. But the Universal Collective is like, we created it's like we're the UZD, and then the UC is like our extended family. And what we did is we recruited hip hop groups or artists from 8 different countries, including everywhere from like Italy, Colombia to New Zealand. And they're independent artists, but when we unify together with Universal Collective, and the purpose of that is to encourage community activism and mentorship and positivity. Not on some like corny, like soft, like we all gotta get along type of, like some real grassroots, like, you know what I mean? Like real building kind of thing. And I don't know, Jeezy, you wanna talk a little bit about the collective, because I think that's important too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The collective, like you said, 8 different countries, you know what I'm saying? A couple of states in the United States we got already on board with us, and you know, it's just sharing collective resources. You know, they come over here, or we go over there. Wherever you go, you have somebody that's part of this umbrella. You know what I'm saying? This umbrella corporation.
Yeah, like
and,
Jeeves and his wife, they went down to Miami. It was somebody from the collective down there. And,
Yep.
meet them and, you know, show them around and stuff like that. So, you know, and they get to throw ideas back and forth to each other. So you have a song with somebody from Colombia, and then they collaborates with somebody from, you know, New Zealand or something like that, or Iceland or something.
We have a chapter in Iceland.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
And
It's only 2 people.
It's like you kind of.
There's only like 500,000 people in Iceland.
yeah,
There's only like 500,000 people in the whole
because
country.
now hip hop is just global. It's not just started in the Bronx. It's everywhere now. No matter where you think about it, it could be somewhere in Russia, Australia, wherever. You know, and hip hop is, and there's hoods and ghettos everywhere. So
And there's a lot more
you know,
real hip hop coming from out of the country these days, because they
Like students of the hip-hop.
yeah, but you have to look at it in the historical context of the situation. Like over here, if you want to rap, it's like you want to rap, it's whatever. Like if you're a white dude and you want to rap, it's acceptable now, it's cool, it's whatever. But in these other countries, especially like European countries, they get a double whammy, right? Because in Italy, if they're trying to rap, they get some of the elders saying, you're trying to be black and you're trying to be American. You get what I'm trying to say?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so for them to really do it and do it with pride, you gotta really be willing to go hard. It's not like over here where you can just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go on my YouTube, I'm just gonna create a SoundCloud song.
Rakim, who's that?
I'm just gonna, who's Rakim? Who cares? I'm a rock star. I can't rap to that beat. You know what I mean? You get all of that kind of stuff, but there's a lot more intense love for hip hop, especially like Europe. You know what I'm saying? Other countries too, like Colombia and South Africa got a really good hip hop scene, but specifically in Europe, like I feel like they get the double whammy. Like you're trying to be black and you're trying to be American. You know what I mean? Because they wear the fitted hats and they wear the.
Like you look at somebody like Buddha Monk, you know, people know who he is in America, but he goes out to other countries and he packs stadiums and they treat him like a superstar. You know, so
And that's one of our mentors. He was the right hand man of Oh Dirty Bastard. He also was the one who wrote the autobiography on Oh Dirty Bastard called Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version.
Yeah.
Which is like a history book for us.
So, what projects have you guys worked on or plan on working on?
We got the Universal Collective mixtape that is basically finished. We're just having DJ host it, and then we're gonna put it out. Like I said, like we were talking about a little while ago, it's basically just songs from different people in the collective on one mixtape. And besides that, we have the UZD album that's I'd say like 60-70% done. It's called Divine Justice.
Divine Justice.
And we're putting that together. We got beats from Showcast, who's one of our producers. We call the Beat Bank. Showcast and Pop Sounds. Plan B. Plan B. So
Ken as well.
Ken, yeah. And Q, right?
Yeah, Q.
So we got beats from those guys in the album, and should be coming out soon. We got the uzd.world is our website. So and we got the Chop Shop. It's coming every Thursday, 6 to 8.
Yes, that's hilarious. I watch it. I follow it.
Before we transition into that, I just wanted to add some details onto that. I think it's interesting just to note that because certain people, I'm not going to get into it, but certain people claim certain affiliations, which it's not real. Like they do a song with somebody or something, and then they say they're affiliated with certain legendary groups and stuff like that. I think it's interesting to note that both the albums that we're about to drop are under the banner of something that's officially part of that family. When I'm referring to Wu-Tang, because there's a lot of people who do a song with somebody and then they say, "Oh, I'm down with Wu-Tang," but like our album, the UZD album, when you see it come out, it's going to say Buddha Monk from Brooklyn Zoo presents Universal Zoo Disciples. When we drop the UC mixtape, it's gonna say the Wu World DJ Coalition. Whoa, because the Wu-Tang has a DJ coalition started by Wu-Tang Management that I'm also a part of. And the Wu World DJ Coalition is going to be the banner under which we drop.
At least it's official.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, like you could put, like if you put in, like I don't normally say this, but because we don't normally get interviewed, but it's just because it's the reality. But if you put Nabi Reality Wu-Tang in Google, like it comes up. It ain't just what I put. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I'm just saying, there's a lot of people. We catch a little slack sometimes. Sometimes it's like whispering in corners. Sometimes it's more direct. But usually whispering in corners because we live inside the soft internet age. But because people say I'm affiliated with a certain family, there's so many pretenders to the throne that some people think that we are until they really recognize like who we are. But at the same time, like that's cool, and that is our affiliation, and I'll always bring it because that's like a coat of arms. But before all that, we're universal. Like we rep our chamber, we're universal. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't run around repping Wu and this and that. We are part of the Wu-Tang Clan. Like we are official, you know what I'm saying? Like you can be verified that. But unlike other people, we don't utilize that as our basis to do what we do. Like we rep Universal, we represent Wu-Tang. That's our family, but we don't run, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
we don't run around trying to like you don't see flyers with our name on it that says Wu-Tang affiliate. Like we don't do all of that because we don't need to, because we're self-made men and we don't need to ride off nobody else's.
Yeah, you don't need to boast or
Yeah, some people do that though,
yeah.
and it's sickening. You know what I'm saying? Like get your own identity, get your own logo. You know what I mean? You look at our logo, there ain't no W's in it, none of that craziness. You know what I'm saying? We got the UZD logo, but I just wanted to comment on that because.
You were talking about the internet. So how do you feel about the internet in the music business?
I mean, obviously it changed the music business a lot. You know what I mean? Like just look at streams. You know, so many streams the album sale now. Mm-hmm. You know, and
changed the format, right? The way it's sold.
Yeah, so yeah.
The money too. It's changed the money. The way the money changes.
Yeah, it's a good and a bad thing, you know. Like you got stuff like SoundCloud or YouTube that just give out the free material. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for people to grab that and make their own. You know. Then you just got things like iTunes and Spotify and stuff that you have to subscribe to. which gives, you know what I'm saying, in depth on the artist's music and, you know, but
And I think, you know,
it can make or break the, you know.
it makes it like, for underground artists, it kind of makes it a little bit easier because like, people get tired of listening to the shit that they, you know, that we're given, you know, the radio
Mainstream.
stuff and the
It's
mainstream
force-fed.
stuff. So now you go on the internet and you start looking for stuff that you like, and then you might run across UZD or you might run across, you know, Dirty Dirty and other people like that you might not would normally listen to, you know what I mean? Or even look at it like how back in the day, if we was a good artist in Rhode Island and a music exec wanted to check us out, he would have to fly to Rhode Island, come watch one of our shows or come to our studios. Now you don't have to do that anymore. Just go on YouTube and watch all the videos and you get an idea what the artist is already, you know?
But that changes the frequency, almost like how like you can't go into a place and fill out a paper application. You do it online. You don't get to make that impression.
Yeah.
And then the market is saturated with artists because of the easy access of being able to put your music online or anything. So now where there used to be 1,000 rappers, there's 1 million, and it's like flooded.
But
You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
too,
It's
like
oversaturated.
it's art still, you know what I'm saying? So it should be easy. It should be kind of easier for a person to put their art out there. You know what I mean? Like even if you
I
sell.
agree, but oversaturation in the market, it cheapens the value of it, and when you don't have like something notable about you or something major you've done, you could be a really great artist and just nobody cares because they never gave it a chance because there's 1 million dudes that, oh, I rap, like, oh, so does everybody else.
That's why you gotta get purple hair, red hair, beads and stuff like that. So people are like, yo,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
trick.
You're gonna start your verses like,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
try it next
So
track.
Try that.
you were saying that, you know, there's 1 million rappers online. So what do you feel makes you guys stand out from all the other artists like that out there, no matter like
Very.
in the world, locally?
Very easy to
We
answer.
just original, you know.
Yeah.
We are a group of original MCs, and you know, just come together to just do what we do best. And when we put it out there, you're gonna see the sincerity. You're gonna see the realness. You know, there's no fake. A lot of it is like materialistic. You're gonna get conscious with street. You know, so
And the group, like, we're all like dynamics, you know what I mean? So it's like, Nabi raps about like more like conscious stuff in a way, you know what I mean? More like on a, not totally positive, but on a, you know, that kind of side of things. Mike Boston, he don't swear in his raps.
Christian rap.
He's somewhat like Christian rap, you know.
but he sound like
Jeezy-
Sticky Fingers, so you know, like his voice itself just
Yeah, carry
when he
it. You
spits.
pay attention as soon as his voice come on. G's is more like, you know, like, more like the battle rapper type guy, you know, straight bars, straight lyrics. Super's more like storytelling, more like the emotional, like, you know, he does that emotional stuff, and I do a lot of like party, again, drinking, smoking.
Turn
stuff.
up.
But we're all on the
Strip
same
club.
page though.
Strip
Yeah.
club stuff like
But
that.
we're all-
But we all can do a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? So I can make a song about a strip club, and we can all get on the song. But then we can
Yeah.
also make a song about like poverty and living in the ghetto and the hood and stuff like that. So when you go see a show or you listen to the music, it's like,
It's something for everybody. It's not
Everybody.
just like oh, the thugs is feeling us, the weirdos are feeling us, oh, the intellectuals or boom baps are feeling us. We've got something for everybody. Like if you got an intellectual, a turn up chick with you, a lyricist, and somebody just trying to party, they all gonna enjoy our show because, like I said, that's the like he said, the dynamic. But I would like to answer the question from my point of view. I think what makes us different is I don't look at us like rappers. I look at us as community activists, mentors, and teachers who utilize hip hop as our medium because we do a lot less like album dropping and a lot more like behind the scenes, like in mentoring and moving. You know what I'm saying? Like our accolades are not like, you know, YouTube views or albums sold as opposed to the change that
they will be though. When we drop the album, you know, it's gonna get big. You know, we just sit back and make a whole lot of music and just like load it up on our music before we start just dropping stuff. So
This is all pretty new too. This family as it is right now has only been around like 2 years. Like it's new. Like we went from like being a restructured family from an old family to like rocking with some of the legends that we rock with and like having a radio show and everything else we're doing. So we've accomplished all that in 2 years.
That's a lot.
Because everybody on this team did music before, but they didn't do it on the level they needed to be, including myself. So now that we've been together for the last 2 years, now we, you know what I'm saying?
and another thing, you know, when you go do it like this, you realize how these whack rappers get on. You know what I mean? They make these personal relationships because like we did all the stuff. We don't have any real like music out right now. You know, we have some songs, but they're like older songs.
No album though.
You know, we don't have any real music out, so you know, it's about making relationships with certain people, and then you know, that's what it's really about. So you see these guys like, well, how he make it? He's terrible. he probably got signed before he even heard him rap, because of what his personality or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So
I mean, or you could go with the other school that thought that hip hop is being used as a tool to dumb us down, right?
Yeah,
because they wanted to shut it down when it was like real revolutionary and real conscious. And then what they did was they just flipped it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do though, right? Like that's what the system does. Like they take the diamonds out of Africa, they send them over to Europe, and they mix it up, send it back, and sell it to us. And you got all these like African Americans rocking jewels. You know what I'm saying? Like rocking all these jewels and like, yeah, I got my diamonds. When they don't realize their relatives over in Africa was out there,
diamonds.
yeah, was mining it. You know what I'm saying? And beating off of it, and their fingers was bleeding from it. They don't understand the context on a global scale. And that's the thing. Like even though we're not known or huge, we're way past being local than a lot of dudes that are more well-known whose name you would drop. For the reason is that we've got people that have Universal Collective tatted on their back in Italy. We've got walls in Italy. We got a wall in Argentina going up, a wall in New Zealand going up that says Universal Collective. So we are global, we ain't local. So while everybody else was worried about being the hottest dude in the city, and this is not a direct to anybody particular, this is a general statement. While everybody was worried about being the hottest in the city and dropping the hottest album, we silently built an army all around the globe, and we're already global. So when we drop our album will be pumping guaranteed in 8 different countries while everybody's still debating over who's the hottest in the city. We don't really care about that because, you know, we're a little bit older. We're not young cats, you know what I'm saying? So we're not trying to compete for nobody's spot and everything. We got our own niche and our own thing that we do, you know what I mean?
I respect that. I always say the best thing is to move in silence.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
the
if
collective,
you're not doing anything, all of a sudden like, what?
the collective
You
was
know?
was privately built in private groups and private discussions for 2 years, and I just really made it public a few months ago. Like it was totally built in silence. Like barely anybody really knew it existed. And then one day they just woke up. They were like, "Who are these dudes? We're in 8 countries."
That's good. You just smack them out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You're like, what? You know what I mean?
Like, you don't got time to prepare. How do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for dudes from the smallest state that have a global reach like this?
You don't. The best things are unexpected.
That's
what
the
I
best
say.
way to do it.
You know?
But then it also shows it's not just about us being like, yo, we're the coolest dudes. It's really like we just want to inspire some of these youth to move a little differently, because you don't have to move like everybody else. You can move, you don't even gotta move like us, but you can move like how you want to move, and you can build your own thing. You don't have to put an auto-tune on your song or try to mimic somebody else or do your version of a Young M.A. song. You know what I mean? Like you can do your own thing, and it might take you a little longer to succeed, but you'll have longevity, because if you follow trends, it's a flash in the pan, it's going tomorrow.
it's like the chop shop. You know, it's like we didn't do it intentionally, but it ended up being like, you know, people go up to artists, or they go to people and be like, hey, listen to our music, listen to this, listen to this. So we would go to people and be like, hey, we got a show, you want to be a guest on our show? So it was like, that wasn't our thought process when it happened, but that's the way it worked out. So it was more like, we had something to offer them instead of asking
you want to
them
collaborate? Want to do a song?
asking them, hey, listen to my stuff, or look what I do. You know what I mean? It was more about them and trying to get them on our show and tell their story and stuff like that. So that was a
game changer.
It was like
It's a game changer.
a cheat sheet kind of thing.
Yeah, and now our
Definitely.
radio show just promotes local, and whoever wants to get promo out of it, you know, it could be anybody from anywhere. You call in, we let you get your shine, say where your music's from. You call from Virginia, California, wherever, and you know what I'm saying. We acceptance of that. And before we put ourselves and say UZD, we should be like Chop Shop and whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? So they can see that it's just more to that. Because if we have a platform sitting there, why not bring all the people that you don't really see into the light, so that, you know, somebody watching be like, oh, I really like that artist, I'm gonna go check them out now, you know?
Yeah, like
and it's not being selfish to be like, oh, check us out. No, but check other people out too, because you can have a preference in anybody, you know?
That happened the other day when I was watching a show, and at the end between the commercials, and I asked him, I was like, who's that artist? And he's like, this artist from Connecticut. You know what I mean? I was already looking up, you know, because I like the song and I like the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
it was
there's
like
a lot of, and this is no disrespect nobody's podcast. There's hundreds of millions of podcasts out there. Even in this region, there's a whole bunch of podcasts, and respect to them. But how many of them break videos? We break videos. You know what I'm saying? we were the first people, and you can ask them, we were the first people, besides it just being posted on YouTube as just on his YouTube channel. We were the first show to play like Jay Deuce's Southside Pride. We were the first ones because Jay Deuce made the song, it was popping, he got real big off of it and this and that. But if you go and look at the history, he didn't even have his website up at that. Go do your history. Jay Deuce didn't even have his website. He wasn't getting paid like he is now. He wasn't where he was at. He was on his way. And his video was out, but it was like, go look at my YouTube channel. We broke it on our show and interviewed him. Nobody else did that. Like you know what I'm saying? We break video. Who else? Nobody. MTV, VH1, ain't none of them playing videos. Who's playing videos that appeal to us? You know what I mean? Like what we're doing. So we break videos, man. We break videos of unknown artists. Everything from Jay Deuce to people over in Iceland and Italy. All languages, all types of genres of hip hop. Like I said, we break videos. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people have a podcast that you listen to.
That was my idea, by the way.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're talking about like artists. So for you guys particularly, what artists inspire you guys and why?
I mean, first of all, you gotta know, you gotta say Wu-Tang. It was huge for us. I mean, like the whole aspect of having a group and then everybody breaking off and being their own individual person. I mean, that was big. You know what I mean, I'm a big Redman fan.
Me too.
You know, I'm an Eminem fan from Detroit, so you know, Eminem and stuff like that. So, you know, those guys, man, those, you know, Jay-Z back in the day before he became Biatch. But you know, that's what.
I think, I mean, as far as musically, I mean, my greatest musical inspirations, I think, would be, as far as like hip hop.
Frankie Valli?
Yeah, Frankie Valli. Would be Wu-Tang, Boot Camp Click, and Tribe Called Quest. Were like the ones that really, like, Tribe Called Quest and Wu-Tang is what made me decide I wanted to be a rapper. Like, that's what made me be like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is something I love. You know what I mean?
Sean Price.
Sean Price, yeah, Helter Skelter, one of the greatest duos. Yeah, Boot Camp Click is one of the greatest groups of all time. Yeah.
I would say like Ghostface Killer, you know, had a good impact on me, you know. Iron Man album, I was like 12 years old, went to the Western Beef when the man was selling all the CDs and just copped that. I copped Fleshbone. He's from Bone Thugs. People don't know who Fleshbone is.
He did a lot of solo joints.
He did a lot of solo He was popping, I had that, you know what I'm saying?
He was like like outside member of Bone Thugs. He wasn't like one of the core members, he was another guy.
He was like a Caledon dude, like
I was
always
rocking
around.
that. Styles P and Jadakiss, that goes hand in hand. That's like the hardest of the hard, you know? Like, I listen to their stuff, it's all real, you know what I'm saying? If you're from the streets, you know what they mean when they speak, so, you know what I'm saying? The influence they have growing up in the projects, you know what I'm saying? Where you're in the belly of the beast, you're not meant to get out of there. A million people fighting for the same goal, and how many people we know, like, graduate college, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then you come out of the element, go to other places, and you start seeing it's all about where you from and where you at, you know? You can look around Rhode Island and see all these kids graduating out of nowhere, you know? Johnson and Wales, Brown, they having the Dunkin' Donuts shut down, the Dunkin' Donuts Center just to graduate all these kids out, you know? And New York too, every place has their graduates, you know?
Yes.
But then, you know, New York, they go to Madison Square Garden, everybody at NYU, they go boom. But it's like, in everybody's generation, how many people you know you personally can say, yeah, I know somebody that graduated with like high honors, and you know they're going to be what the world don't want you to be, you know? So with the music, you know, that just brought you into like getting by the everyday struggle, you know, and then like I said before, listening to the radio and not even feeling it, make up my own, you know, own rap. Or when I see my friends later on, oh, hear what I wrote, and it's something that I created, something that I hold dearly, and when my kids grow older, that's a legacy that I left behind for them, you know. And even if they don't want to be a rapper or something like that, at least it'll give them the strength to like speak, motivational speaker. You could, you know, with just having that knowledge where you could just be like, you seen Dad went and did a show and it was mad people in his face. He didn't know them, he just did it. So then for you to grow up in everyday life, you don't stay back, you know what I'm saying, and quiet, you know, you're not in that little hermit crab mentality. You're like, I'm outspoken, you know, because hip hop is just everything.
It gives a voice to the
voice to the
voice
youth.
to the
Yeah, I was like that too before, man. I wasn't rap in front of people and stuff like that. Or I was like, I was kind of shy in a way back in the day. I mean, I think, like you said, rap is like the reason why I would like, after a while, like got comfortable talking in front of a crowd, and you know, in front of people, and you know, sometimes it's scary displaying something that you created, not knowing people are gonna like it. You know what I mean? So that, I think that part of it, like Jesus was saying, is like that rap brought that part out of me. You know what I mean? Being able to go in front of the crowd and be like, fuck it, they don't like it, or they're not gonna like it. You know what I mean? So.
So I was last night I was able to actually watch you guys perform because the very first time I met you guys kind of were like it was kind of open mic, just you know, just chilling, you know, and kind of just doing your thing. So yesterday I was able to actually see you guys in action. But is there any particular places like that you have performed or you prefer, or you guys seem kind of humble and just for the people, but you know, are as artists or even individuals, like. You know,
like places that we prefer to perform?
Oh yeah, or places that you have performed that's like kind of your favorites.
I mean, my favorite, I mean, we've done a lot. I mean, my favorite, there's a lot. We've done a lot of shows, a lot of different places, but I think my favorite, the one that was the most honor to me was we were the only only opening act for the Golden Era show, and we opened up for all the people that we grew up on, Capadonna, Rakim, Mr. Cheeks from Lost Boys,
Brand Nubian,
3 Times Dope, Brand Nubian, you know what I mean? Like the God Rock, Keith Murray was there. And we were the only non-legendary act on that stage. And it was Lupo's, and you know, I grew up going to shows at Lupo's and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, that was
you know what I'm saying? Like, and not only was I there, because you know, other people have done shows at Lupo's for like upcut, like, you know, popular acts and this and that, but that's cool, but like, I was standing right, like, yo, check this out, right? I'm standing right here, like this, and standing right next to me on stage is Mr. Cheeks is standing right here. Rakim is standing where you're standing, and where Homeboy is in the back, Keith Murray's in the audience having more fun than everybody. And I look it around, and I said to myself, this will probably never ever happen again. Like, this is hip hop, historical hip. I'm standing next to Mr. Cheeks bobbing, and it's crazy because, like, Mr. Cheeks is a legend, right? And the God, you know what I'm saying? We know the God Capadonna, he came running down, you know what I'm saying? And there's all these legendary dudes, and they're all humbled by Rakim. He's the God, you know what I mean? He's the God MC. So it's like all these legendary dudes, and they're reacting the same way I'm reacting watching Rakim. Like, they're fans, you know? And Mr. Cheeks and Keith Murray was having more fun than everybody. He was in the front of the audience, wilding out, singing along with Rakim like he wasn't famous himself. Like, they was just, it was surreal to be that close to Rakim and know that I earned that position. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't pay to get on that stage. We got there because of who we are and what we do. We didn't pay nobody $500 to open up, and we did that on the strength of who we were. And just to think about, to be that, like Capadonna from Wu-Tang is here, and we're part of his family. And Mr. Cheeks is here, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up on the Lost Boys, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my 30s. Yeah. And then, you know what I'm saying, Rakim, the God's right there. And oh, there's Sadat X. And oh, there's Keith Murray. Brand Pooba's in the building, you know what I'm saying? Like, or Jamal. And I'm like, it was surreal. It was real surreal for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was deeper to me than like if we would like opened up for like more current, younger acts, you know? Because we're a little bit older. So these were the guys that I like only knew from like albums, and now I'm backstage chilling with them, like, and not on some like groupie fan type joint. Like, and I'm like, yo, we performed, we opened up, we deserve this spot. You know what I'm saying? So
I like Lupo's, you know what I'm saying? Lupo's is one of been going to Lupo's a million times, man. Always wanted to perform there. That was a good one. I liked it. We did a couple shows in North Carolina. Shriners, I think they had the best system, I think, that we ever.
Was it Greensboro, North Carolina?
Greensboro was Shriners, and Raleigh was Deep South.
Deep South. We did a little mini tour down south with a group that with a dude that came up here, and we met him through the OG Cesar Camachi, Ninth Wonders people from the Justice League. You know what I'm saying? He's one of our people that mentor us and we build with. He always brings up, he goes on a tour called the Building Bridges Tour, where he brings like more unknown cats from North Carolina in that area on a tour all around the country with him. So the dudes he brought up, we did that show, we linked up with, we kept that relationship open, interviewed him on our show, kept it open. He brought us down there, you know what I'm saying? Threw us some money, covered the hotel, we went down there, you know. It was dope, because, you know, we've never been on any major tours because, like I said, we've only been around 2 years, so the group is still like in its infant stage. You know what I'm saying? Because we're older, you know what I'm saying? It might look like we've been like, but we really a lot of us wasn't doing music for like years and had just come back. So we're just kind of like getting started all over again. You know what I'm saying?
So, like you said, as you mentioned, the group's been around 22 years, and you guys are getting back into making music. Since you guys started music and been a group, how do you guys feel your music has evolved?
It's been evolving, you know what I'm saying? Because like he said before, we all got different styles and stuff. So when he played it on his beat and he already wrote his verse, now he's throwing it out there, and it may not be something that I'll be like, I would just go crazy and be like, oh yeah, I wrote to that. But now I'm gonna sit there and write to it, so it's gonna show my style, you know what I'm saying, my creativeness on a track that I wouldn't, so it's gonna show another side of me. It's gonna show, you know, a versatile side of me. Same as any one of them, you know, they'd be like, oh, I never thought about rapping to a beat like that, but then once they hear the chorus and they hear the verse, they're like, okay, I can do something like that, and then you get them out of their elements, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's like, we do a little, like I said, we do a little bit of everything. Boom, bap, we rap on some trap type beats too. So, you know what I mean? We're not scared to like, we don't want to put ourselves in the box. Like a lot of these guys is like, they're boom bap. I'm just doing boom bap stuff. They're track rappers. Like, not all boom bap is good.
Yeah, not all trap is bad.
Exactly.
You do what the feeling presents itself, you know? It's all about the feeling, you know?
So, you know, we do everything, man. We do like a lot of tracks that would be good, that's good in shows. Like you see, like we did the track that, you know, what was it called? Like the Get Twisted track. Get Twisted track is a good track to just see at the show.
There's females there.
Yeah.
And then we come with the lyrical thing. Like I think that was when we did that show down at Shriners, one of the artists that was down there that we have a lot of respect for, he was like, yo, you guys are like a collaboration of like all this different stuff, but the crazy thing about it is like it just all meshes together. But it's not, it's as much as I would like to take credit of the genius of being the founder, it's really not about me. It's not even about them. It's just something in the universe is right. Like we don't plan it. It just kind of just molds together right organically. It just works.
Yeah, we, one of our other members, Super, who said, you know, like I said, he raps about more the emotional stuff, the more storytelling and more like stuff about life and stuff like that.
We call him UZ Stevie D.
Yeah, all of a sudden he just came out and started singing one day. I was like, what the hell this guy started singing from? Like, what the hell happened?
Like, who knew?
Yeah,
know this guy 20 years. I didn't know.
All of a sudden he comes out singing one day on a hook, and it sounds good. It's like, so.
Yeah, so we usually run with it.
Yeah. UZ Stevie D.
UZ Stevie D.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, guess being together just gets everybody in a different element, everybody gets comfortable, you know what I'm saying? And you just start like bringing your ideas to life, you know? Super coming out of nowhere singing, you know what I'm saying? Or me on a trap beat, like, you know what I'm saying? So you be like, oh, I never heard him on that, something like that. But when you do hear it, you like, you know it came from the heart, you know it's just real genuine.
Word.
So, if any, what's your biggest challenge as a group?
Being as we're, like you said, we're older, you know, we have a lot of stuff going on in our life.
Kids.
You know what I mean? Kids, you know, work and stuff like that. When you're younger, you can just rip and run and stay in the studio all night, hours and hours and stuff like that.
Yeah, now it doesn't work.
So now life getting away a little bit when you get a little bit older, but we find time to do it. Like technology helps that out, you know what I mean? So I can record him today and then record him tomorrow and then record him.
Yeah, it's always hard to get all 5 core members in the room at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Especially for a nice
Super always
group
got
pick and all
sinuses,
that,
you
you
know.
know? Or Mike Boston,
Mike
he's out there,
sinuses.
Boston doing his thing.
Shout out to Mike Boston, by the way.
Mike Boston
One of
does.
the core members.
He's an advocate in the Boston area, and he has this thing called the Mobile Stew, which is he put a studio in his pickup truck, and he drives around to like lower income neighborhoods, and he sets up.
Especially like gang neighborhoods.
Yeah, and everybody comes out, and everybody start recording right in the truck. And sometimes he does it with the cops, Boston police too. So he'll bring cops
And
around.
the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club.
Boys
And that's
Girls
only
Club.
to stop the tension, to be what it would be if there wasn't no mentor. You know, people just saying kids like
Between
after
the
cops.
cops,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just crooked. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there are good people in the force. You know, there's people that is from family members. We all got family members, so you know what I'm saying? It could be anybody. It's cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Just because they took that position doesn't mean they're gonna be dirty and all that. But that at least shows them that there's no tension within a lot of them. You
they're
know, the
just
ones that
humans
want
too,
to
you
work
know.
with the children to grow and become you know what I'm saying, better in this world and not be like all the aggression, because everybody look at cops and, you know what I'm saying, it's just like they out to get us, they out to choke us, you know what I'm saying, they out to kill us, they out to tase us, shoot us, plant stuff on us, you know, so you show the kids that
He
they
rapping,
are,
the cop
they are
rapping,
good
he
people
spitting
out
bars,
there.
you know what I mean? The kids start looking at the cop a little bit differently, like, oh, he's a regular person, a human's like me, you know what I mean? So
and a lot of them done grew up in the same streets they, you know what I'm saying, they patrolling, so it's like.
So the mobile stud's blowing up, he's on Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres show, NBC.
Yeah.
I was on NBC Nightly News with Mike.
ESPN
Now,
First Take.
He was on ESPN First Take, the Celtics
Ellen
wrap-up
gave him
show.
a 2018 truck and $10,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is all going to go into the Mobile Stew project, which is
That
Mark
guy,
Wahlberg recently
Retweeted
reshared a big thing about the Mobile Stew.
I know, I've seen a lot of like reshares and.
within like a week or two, the Mobile Stew got
It just
you
blew
know
up.
put out there. It was like 2 million views on Ellen. 2 million views.
It's like one of those things, you know, you see it being created, and all of a sudden, like, one day it's in infant stage, and like a month later, it's all over the place. So it's like
Yeah, we seen
motivation.
it before it took place. We seen it when we used to be like, yo, Mike, come through. And he'd be like, all right, I'm going to bring everything in my pickup truck. Pickup truck? I got the whole mixer, the microphone, and everything in the truck. So you sitting in the passenger seat, and he got his computer going. The hell, you ready?
So,
And you're like, okay, and you're in a truck, and you feel like you're in a studio. It's a mobile stew.
and what happened? We did a pilot. He did a pilot for
Pilot pitch documentary series
for the mobile stew.
recently, last
And
weekend.
somebody who they knew it was a pilot, they knew it was a mobile studio. And homeboy goes, "We recorded? Hey, what do you think we doing? Of course we recorded. It's a goddamn mobile studio." So it's like that was funny to me, man. It's for somebody to be in the mix and
Not
still
good.
not believe like he's recording in the truck.
Yeah, really not
Yeah,
good.
he's recording in the truck. He's gonna play it back afterwards. You know what I mean? So it's a simple idea, but he executed it and it blew up, man. Now everybody like, damn, why did I think of that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and just to put it in context real briefly, Mike works with a lot of, Boston has a large problem with like gangs. Like it's not Compton or nothing, but like Boston, I grew up partially here and partially in Boston, and Boston is very like block separated, like this block, this block, and you know what I'm saying? So it's very ganged out. And at one time, you know, people, it was funny because people outside of New England, they were like, I mean, streets of Boston, but you could get really murked on the streets of Boston.
Yeah,
like,
right.
it's not so bad now as it was like in the 90s. Boston has some of the most worst gun violence in the entire country, like, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Benzino for bringing a lot of those gang members together and creating that whole Wise Guy project back in the day. Ray Benzino did a lot of work on that. But anyways, just the context I wanted to say is that, just for context, Mike doesn't just roll around with the mobile stew and just like pull up on your block. Like Mike, I mean, that does happen, but that's not the main function of it. He works with a lot of inner city youth, and when there's a murder or a shooting, before the cops come, he pulls up with the stew and gets those kids to get on the mic and express their feelings about their friend that just died. And through that, hopefully, we can stop some of these kids from killing each other. And with the dialogue with the police, hopefully we can create a dialogue that connects the community more, which is difficult for a lot of us because none of us are choir boys and most of us have a very storied past with law enforcement. And some people see us with this project working in it, and there's been a little bit of backlash. Most of it, like I say, those whispering in corners things of criticism because it's working with police, but it's like, you got all these like rebel I know I always say this every time I do an interview, but I have to speak on it briefly. There's all these rebel rousers on the internet, right? And all these people that look at us and they say, oh, they're working with the cops. We gotta go to war, and we gotta do this, and we gotta revolt, and we gotta do this. But they're scared to get a parking ticket.
Sound
to
like
get
a
into
toy soldier.
but they're scared to get a parking ticket or get into a fist fight. So they're over there talking all this like revolutionary overthrow the government stuff. And I'm not saying I'm totally against the concept. I'm not even hating on the concept. I'm hating on people that are afraid to be on the front lines leading the youth that they're getting to go like that.
They're on the front line of the internet.
Yeah, they're on the front line of the internet typing real hard, you know what I mean? But like get out of the way and let those of us that's really making a difference. Cause like we don't report to no police. We don't you know what I'm saying? Only the partnership the police has is that they co-signed the project and a couple of Boston police that grew up in the hood come and they rap, and that's really the context of it. You know what I'm trying to say? I just want to speak on it because a lot of people, it's different to see an urban rap group dealing with police in any type of way, and I just wanted to give that clarification. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and all the proceeds go to the Dorchester's Boys and
Boys and
Girls
Girls
Club.
Club,
So you know what I'm saying? Whatever they make out of that just goes in there to help them out, you know?
Mobilestew.net, www.mobilestew.net.
So what's your ultimate direction as a group?
Just make like good music and like I said, be activists and active in the community and you just want to make good music that people like. That's all. It's basically.
Yeah, solidify a spot of 5 core members and other people that came to create this global connection and just make a mark. You know what I'm saying? Leave stuff for our kids. You know what I'm saying? Leave that legacy behind.
Entertain. We want to entertain people like the Chop Shop. We want you to watch it and laugh.
Yeah.
And you have a good time, man. You might be having a bad day. You throw that Chop Shop on and start laughing. Like throw that music on and then like change your whole mood. You know what I mean? So that's what we want to do, man.
I mean, where I'm at is that I'm mentored by quite a few people that are a lot more famous than we are, and more well known than we are. And a few of them, I'm not gonna say any names, but a few of them are kind of like off in the fringes, you know what I mean? They're not really like participating in the culture anymore, but they have all this knowledge. So I kind of like build with these OGs and I absorb their knowledge and I try to make it relevant to what we do as like a paying homage to what they did, you know what I'm saying? Because like maybe they're 60 years old and they don't rap, but they've had a big impact on one of the greatest rap groups in the world, but they're not really doing anything. So I get around them and I absorb that knowledge and then I transfer it into what we doing as like a homage to the sacrifices that they made, you know what I'm saying? To do what they do. And you know what I'm saying? That goes for Wu-Tang, that goes for Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying? Johnny Juice, goes for, the Justice League and like all these.
Send videos, choppers with 2Ps, so don't get pop, pop, pop. We out
we got
there.
the UZD.world, which is our webpage, and you just go on there. You can watch the Chop Shop live when it come on Thursdays, and you can see all the older shows. And we got the Universal Collective page on there. We can find out who's in the collective and the links to their stuff, what they're doing, and all the shows that we do. So when you go to UZD.world, I mean, it's basically everything that you need to know about what we're doing is all there. And all the links.
www.uzd.world.
No .com, no .net, it's
no
a .world.
.world, we global.
Yes, sir.
That's how we do it.
I know you guys did that. Is there anything that you guys want to mention that I didn't ask or,
It's nice to be interviewed because we do most of the interviewing.
Yeah, and usually when we get interviewed, we start taking over the interview and start asking.
Yeah, we've been real nice
questions.
today. Yeah,
So we actually stayed in line and actually let you interview.
I'm surprised. Proud of you guys.
Yes, I know you guys did good voice.
It's because we're tired. Everybody
Start asking you questions. When was the last time you had a chicken sandwich?
I just want to add. I just want to add one detail. It's a minor detail, but if you ever watch the Chop Shop and you see how we laugh and joke with each other, but we can go from like busting each other's balls to like talking about like something like real deep like racism or something else, like that's really us. It's not a character. Like you see us on the Chop Shop, like it's a little exaggerated, but very little. It's really just when the cameras are off, we're the same. So it's like the diversity of going from like knowledge to humor and back and forth. That's just who we are as people.
Yeah, the first show, I think of something. I forgot why. It was like, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do the show because something was wrong. And then we just sat down and the camera was off. We started talking like we was on the show already. Like, let's turn the damn camera on and might as well just go do it because we're gonna sit there and do this anyway. But we're at home. We're gonna sit there and debate with each other and talk about like current events and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's just what we do, man. It's like basically pretty organic and stuff like that. So.
And the Chop Shop's for the people, man. So if people want to check out the Chop Shop Radio, 2 P's in the Chop.
The YouTube page.
Yeah, it's an open forum, like for you to call in, for you to comment. It's not like a closed forum. Like you got to be some like hot artist to be like the door's open for anybody who's an artist to appear on the show and to play their videos and stuff. I mean, of course we screen stuff. We don't just take just anybody, but we don't take. Nah, there's a couple people we didn't take. I'm sure real. What that dude, the dude from what's his name there? The dude from India, the one who's. I would rap.
India?
Yeah, he's got some work to do, but we tell.
Keep the bomb.
I am the Bombay. I would do this. So we give critique to a lot of artists like around the world. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll submit videos and it like needs a lot of work. So rather than ignoring them and telling them they suck, we'll be like, you really need to do some work, and then come back to the Chop Shop a year later or a couple months later. Some of them get butt hurt and say we don't know what music is, and some of them actually like listen to what we say and come back at us a few months later and their music's better. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.